All right. Cool. Looks like we're live. Sorry, sorry if I jump scared anybody who was waiting. Hi. Welcome to the stream. My name is Gabriel Quinn. I am an illustrator and designer. I work in games and animation, and I do story work for various things. And yeah, today we're just going to be working on some dragons, actually. Just like fun dragon stuff, man. I've been really inspired by dragons recently, so just gonna push it with some dragons. I drew this guy off stream and just kind of like exploring yeah, just some dragon ideas, man. I started building out this world. This is kind of attached to earlier projects that I've been working on. So extending out the universe, like, you know, what if there was like a giant mythical dragon to this world that was attached to like this dragon, maybe like more than one dragon in the universe, right? So like a mythical foresty dragon or something. So just kind of expanding out a little bit. Awesome. Cool. Cool. So let's see. We got Sandman in the chat says first, brother. Welcome. You are the first. And Solo C says second. Let's go. I'm the second like. Yeah, the first like was my girlfriend. Sorry. She's on it. She's she's busy being the best. I don't know if anyone is as busy as her at being the best. So but yeah, welcome to the stream. We're just kind of, you know, going with the flow. With this guy, I just started with some fun shapes. I can kind of walk you through a little bit of the thought process here. So I started with this kind of elder dragon kind of perched in this world. Something, you know, kind of like myth, like maybe you come across this ancient dragon. But we started with scribbles like we always do, you know, just blocking it down. And then after that, I dropped in some line art on top so I can show kind of what that looks like. So you can kind of see the difference in the line art if we remove it, how it's like very somber, maybe more neutral. But when we did the line art, we wanted the character to have a bit more aliveness. So we're pitching this a little bit more towards animation. Like this character has dialogue, it has opinions, it's, you know, all that stuff. Sandman says, WGF, lol. Yeah, exactly. She is a WGF. It's true. She's the best. Cool. Yeah, so then after that, I just dropped in a flats layer. Flats layer, it's interesting how it helps you just kind of get an idea of the silhouette, the shape, what you're dealing with. After that, we just built up some base colors, dropped in a green, then we kind of like started to sort of paint on top of that. Oh, I think the green, yeah, we actually didn't end up using the green. So we did some base colors, and then we actually dropped in some highlights here, actually. Yeah. So like purple, so kind of bringing the kind of like feathery fur to life on the underbelly, and then some highlights and shadows, kind of making things a little bit more neutral, making sure the light is hitting on top. So kind of like a moss-covered ancient dragon vibe. And we'll do some more tertiary details, like smaller details along as well, which will be cool. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so all right, we're just kind of getting started on this. What I'm aiming to do is sometimes if I'm feeling precious about a design, I'll actually just like jump and do something kind of random, sort of like take the pressure off. So I did this design in order to return back to the initial character we were working on and just kind of like clean it up, not feel so strange about cleaning it up and just finishing it. So it's good to get into a rhythm of finishing projects and moving forward. Simon says the purple looks great on it. Yeah, you know, purple green, it's an underrated color combination for sure. Yeah, he's kind of like, you know, a mythical forest Barney. My girlfriend said it's giving Barney, so reverse Barney. So there you go. Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is actually just drop a link in the good old Instagram bio. Make sure that anybody who wants to see can see. So I'll pull that up now, get that out of the way. But yeah, welcome to anybody who's joining or visiting or anything like that. Like, super happy to have you guys. I didn't stream yesterday. Just didn't feel right. Didn't feel like the right time. So today we're hitting it back. We're doing it. And we'll see what happens. All right, let's drop it in. Boom, 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 boom. Solid Santiago says, yo, sup, guys? Welcome, Santiago. Salmon says, I have to give you a follow on Instagram. Yeah, dude, definitely follow me on Instagram. And yeah, if you're watching the recording back of this as we're just getting started, welcome. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see some art stream stuff and, you know, like the video. Definitely like the video. That super helps, apparently. So that's cool. All right. We're live. Live. With a link. It's like when Seinfeld calls out to Elaine. Elaine, we're live. Elaine. Boom. Okay, cool. Cool. I remember when I was kind of like, some of my friends were starting to stream as well. Like, I would see them kind of throw up on their story like, I'm live right now. And I'm like, yeah, who asked, buddy? And now I get it. I'm like, oh, you just got to let people know, man. Definitely got to let people know. Got to get comfortable pushing this stuff. All right, let's adjust a couple things. I got to set up my Cintiq properly. I'm on an old, like, 2014 Cintiq, man. Definitely want to upgrade soon. Cool. Just need to become a bit of a workaholic for a little bit. Make some upgrades. Then return back to the world. Alrighty. Yeah, here we go. Man, I love this guy. He's a real fun guy. HG says hello there. Welcome, HG. Back to the stream. Let's go. Man, the regulars show up fast. You guys are awesome. Like, I just like start and you guys just hop in. That's great. Do you guys get notified, or like, how do you know this when the stream goes live? I'm just curious. All right, for the line art for this dragon, we're actually going to turn the color off. So I'm just going to take all the line art layers that I have. Yeah, these ones. Oh, that's interesting. I did one of those on... What layer is that on? That's not good. Oh, on the pot layer, of course. Or the text layer, rather. We love working on the wrong layer. It's lit. Cool. Oh, these are old. Nice. All right, we're going to take the sketch layers we have. We're going to make a new layer. If you hold shift when you paste, it doesn't do that awkward half step to the side thing. Salmon says, I get notified. Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Oh, nice. So, oh, that's awesome. So you guys just get a notification. Okay, then I should definitely, because when I go to make the stream and like change the title and do all this stuff, like, it does kind of like make the, I'm curious, do you guys get notified when it's like still offline, or when it like, as soon as it goes online? Because I know like when I make it, or I go to start it before I connect to OBS, like it does a kind of, does like a thing. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Colin, let's go. The homie, the upstate homie, who I still haven't hung out with somehow. All right, we're gonna get the little sketch here. We're gonna copy that. going to copy this too. Nice. All right, so now we kind of have the layout we worked on, but we've kind of removed the color for now because we're going to do some cleanup. Let's go. We love cleanup. Sick. Okay, cool. That's great. I'm glad that it's reaching you guys when I go live. That's really good. Cool. Yeah, initially I was kind of relying from the poll from Instagram to come over, but I'm just really excited to kind of like have that organic community. It's just the YouTube community. I mean, I know people who like watch art YouTube stuff are always very interesting people. So super excited to connect. But yeah, feel free to go check out my Instagram, everything there. For sure. But yeah, and also like you guys know the drill. You can ask me any question you like about art, about anything, about me, about life, whatever, and I'll do my best to answer. Last time we had a lot of fun. The last stream was really great, really dynamic and fun, and I might go work on that character again for funsies. But we had a little pep talk moment. It was great. Adithya, welcome Adithya, back to the stream. Welcome. Nice. All right. So for line art, we're gonna keep the line art a little warm. I like sketching with some warmer kind of line art, and we're gonna use this one brush. I think we're gonna use, yeah, my favorite kind of line art brush right now for this kind of fantasy stuff. It's like a textured pencil brush. I believe it's default, but I like to modify brushes. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll probably put together a brush pack, and I'll offer it for, you know, like if people want to donate, they can, or they don't have to. And then I'll probably do like a demo and make that like a few dollars. I don't know. Cool. All right, let's just merge all this stuff together. Lower the opacity down. I like to work on kind of 10% opacity. I feel like 10% is enough to where it's like just feeling good. Like it's not like nothing is there, but it's not so substantial it like influences you too much. I know some people even go with a 7%. We can try 7%. 7% allows you to like really go with like almost like a whole new drawing on top if you want. Okay. Cool. Sick. All right. So dragons, designing dragons. Man, designing dragons is fun. I really like it. They're mythical creatures, but they're very much based in the kind of some of the rules of our world. You know, they're serpenty, but they're also cute. They can be subverted and changed, like, you know, in How to Train Your Dragon, it's like very cat-like. Dragon is very catified. And in other media, they're also kind of evolved and changed as well. For this one, we're going with almost like a part bird. It's definitely got a bird feel to it, but it's almost like a bird dog. Like that's the vibe. Half bird, half dog in terms of temperament and like aesthetic, maybe. You know? That's kind of what we're going with here. So we see the dog here, and I feel like we see the bird here and like maybe here as well in terms of how the head moves, the curiosity, you know, everything like that. But then it has very dog-esque moments, which is nice. Cool. Nice. So yeah, we're omitting color for now when we work on the line art. We'll just call it line art. I don't name my layers. I really should. Sometimes I end up with like layer 503 or something, and it's like I just have no idea what's going on. Probably should clean up this PSD and start to separate some of this stuff out. Cool. Someone says that would be cool. Oh yeah, to working on the other character. Yeah, the other character was fun. It would be interesting to go back and kind of define out some stuff in clear detail. I haven't really done any line art or cleanup work too much on the live streams yet. It's mostly just been design and theory, which is fun. I love design and theory. But today we're doing a little bit of cleanup. Nab says, hello chat, hello Gabriel, how's stuff going? Man, stuff's going really well. I'm really excited. I'm meeting up with a whole bunch of friends tonight. Every Friday in New York, I get together with a whole bunch of friends, and we just kind of have like enlightened conversation, you know, share what's going on. Usually we kind of like pick a topic, like a spiritual topic. We kind of get into it. So Fridays for me are really, really exciting because I get to go to that in the evening, which is cool. And I had a great meeting this morning with a couple clients and collaborators, which is nice. So I'm on a comic project right now, and the comic is getting really interesting. We're like getting out of the just kind of initial phase of, you know, just talking, like finally putting stuff down on paper, talking around some ideas and compositions. I'm back in the page layout game, which is nice. I love page layout. It's like one of my favorite things. In university especially, I love doing it with sequential art. Yeah, and I started drafting a note to one of my former professors in university because he kind of taught me comics, and I'm reaching out just to kind of see how he's doing. I know he's teaching at a new school, so I just want to follow up with him and make sure he's doing well in life. So instantly with this drawing, if I zoom out, the pencil here for the lines is a little thick, and the texture actually is not 100% what I want, but we want it to be a little thinner. So we're going to axe this, and we're going to start over. Let's see. Yeah. Cool. Nice. But yeah, I was actually, instead of going into concept art and viz dev and the world that I'm in now, I was actually initially going to get into comics. I was going to be an indie comic guy, or a, you know, like a small publisher comic person. And I was like pursuing opportunities. I was researching the competitions. And then on my final year of university, COVID hit. So everything got canceled. The final showcase, you know, they didn't care really if you finished your project anymore. Like resolution wasn't in the grading criteria. So it was like, I just kind of didn't really care about anything anymore, man. And it was weird. People thought the world was going to end. So I kind of just let that go, to be honest. And went back home to Bermuda. I lived with my grandparents for a few years and discovered visual development. And like, I love it as a career, but you know, a part of me is always feeling called back towards like story and comics and book form. So getting a comic gig this year was really cool. A cool way to step back into that, which actually makes this design stuff fun to do on stream because it's like it's not attached to my job like right now. So it's nice. I get to just do it for fun. Probably when the next freelance gig comes around, I'll be maybe doing some comic stuff on stream instead. I always like to balance what I'm doing, you know, not do one thing all the time, every time. Oh man, I cooled off my room preemptively for the stream, and because usually it like stays cool for a while, but it's 93 degrees today. It's 93 in New York with, gosh, what's the humidity today? 49% humidity. Oh man. So 93 with 49% humidity, it's basically like 100. It's a big oof. Big oof. So I'm feeling it right now. Like, I'm really feeling it. Oh, man. Man, oh man. But yeah, stuff's going well. Stuff's going really well. I feel really strong about the things I've been focusing on recently in my own kind of personal study in preparation for this work project. Like, I'm going back and reading all the, you know, Will Eisner, Understanding Comics, Making Comics, the or the Scott McCloud, Understanding Comics and Reading Comics, and the Will Eisner, like sequential art and comics art. There's also a great book called Comics Art, put together by Paul Grivette, published by Yale. It's a great collection of sequential art, and I've been going back to that, you know, poring over it. I love the comic genre, so being able to work on one right now is a real gift, like a real gift to be able to develop something. HG says, that sounds really exciting, both the Friday meetings and the comic thing. Can you go a bit into the theme of it? What kind of style? Yeah, so I can go a little bit into the theme. It's not under NDA, but it's not something that, like, I don't know, I'm being super public with yet. It's kind of one of those things where when you start talking about a project too much, sometimes it can kill the motivation to, you know, finish and make it really good and interesting. But what I can tell you is that it's inspired by history, kind of like speculative historical adjacent fiction, kind of. Takes place in the 1800s, around the 1860s. And it has a lot to do with the island of Bermuda, sabotage, shipwrecks, profiteering, the American Civil War, and all manner of debauchery and double crossing and plots. And, you know, so it's a cool thing. It's really cool. We're still figuring out our options. The guys who are kind of brought it to me to develop, they're still figuring out, you know, the plan for if you want to go to a publisher, if you want to try to do it indie, if we want to like angel investor it, just kind of get it made as sort of like almost like a conservation thing, because it involves a lot of historical stuff. We'll see. But yeah, no, it's a very cool project. But the style is going to be very much like black ink, bold color. Very, I don't know if you know the work of Gigi Cavanago, but very, you know, in that world of that elk. Cool. Alrighty. And she says, "Oh, cool. I assumed it was under NDA." Yeah, yeah. It's a very cool project. It's like one of those things that comes along and you go like, wow, like I want to work on this, you know? Even if it means you gotta like make adjustments to your life to like take a project. Like it's really cool. Sandman says, what is 93 in Celsius? That's a great question. Let's use the power of Google. .33. So it's 33 right now with 50% humidity. Yeah, I can definitely write the name of the comic artist. I'll actually do you one better. I'll pull up my Pinterest board for GG so you can see, because his work is nuts, man. It's so nuts. My God. Let's see. I got it in here somewhere. Here we go. Do I have a board for GG? Am I crazy? Thought I made one. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But let's pull up his work anyway. GG's work is so sick. Yeah, it's unreal. Let's pull it up. So, yeah, Gigi Cavanago's work, absolutely stunning. Like, for instance, this one is one I really love in particular. Yeah, incredible image. But he did a lot of the Dylan Dog covers and art. So this is like a pretty serious influence for me personally on this project will be Gigi Cavanago. And Sergio Topi as well, but primarily Gigi. Thanks, Aditya, for writing it down. I appreciate it in the chat. But yeah, Gigi's work is nuts. Like, look at this, man. It's so good. This one is cool. Oh, it's low res. I don't like when the preview is low res. It's annoying. But so, you know. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. There we go. Yeah, this is referencing a Gustav Klimt painting, I think Medicine, the one that got destroyed and never finished. It's like a cool reference. But he references a lot of master art and like, yeah. Sam says, it was 43 Celsius in my town. My God, where are you? What up, Abe? Welcome to the chat. You didn't miss much. We're just gushing about Gigi Cavanago, who's kind of a major reference point for my most recent comic project I'm working on. He's so good. He's so unbelievably good. I love this image a lot. This one's really special. Good God, Gigi is epic. Yeah, dude. Gigi Cavanago. Comic artists, man, they're just extra. They're just diesel. They go hard. Yeah, so him and also Sergio Topi is another. Oh, oops. Not Serena Williams. Don't really care too much, I guess, for tennis. But yeah, Sergio Topi is another artist that I absolutely love. I love it. Let's look at his pages if we can. So, like, look at this, dude. This guy's nuts. He's so good. So Sergio Topi took many kind of like cultural myths and adapted them into a comic format where somehow he was able to both like really honor the tradition and the aesthetic of the culture, but maintain his artistic like flow and sensibility in himself as well. Remarkably done. Look at these pages. They're incredible. Yeah. So Gigi Cavanago and Sergio Topi are the two main influences for me for this story. They're just two of my main influences in general, even when I'm doing concept art. Aditya says, imagine doing that traditionally. It would literally take me ages. Yeah, it was done traditionally. Sergio worked traditionally with ink, pen and ink. But looking at the rhythm of his strokes and his mark making, it didn't take him that long to do this kind of stuff. Like he would, obviously something like this would take a long time, but he was so fast and so fluid. Like he just kind of let it flow. Colin says, those are cool and all, but have you seen Garfield? That's true. Have we seen Garfield? Let's look at the Garfield comics really quick. Colin's right, guys. Those artists? Bang Bang Eek. Smack. Okay, I changed the channel. I don't like violence. Wow. Do you get it, guys? It's because it's hypocrisy. He used violence to avoid violence. And it's the genius of Garfield. It's unbelievable. Look at this one. My life has lost meaning. Ding. Pizza rolls are ready. There it is. So his life's meaning was the pizza rolls. And that's Garfield. So the subtext here is really deep. It's actually that, capitalism has tricked us into a cycle of anticipation for an idea that it has told us will bring us joy and happiness. And look at the smile on his face, and how quickly will that smile fade once the pizza rolls are gone. Truly an American tragedy. Yeah. It's in this one, Garfield is very sleepy. He's got his nightcap on and his shirt and his mug. Because he's woken up and he has his coffee and he has his slippers on. So Yeah, yeah. So Garfield up there with the greats in terms of sequential storytelling and experimental art. I know, Sandman. It is, oh man, truly, truly, truly. Someone's gonna join and just see me looking at Garfield. My girlfriend just texted me, classical conditioning slay. Pavlov who? She's studying for the MCAT, so deep in the world of psychology for sure. Yeah, this one is like extra deep, and it's got the dog who's happy in his obliviousness. So, not gonna lie, the last one was cute. It's genius. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so back to dragons. Man, we tangent a lot in this stream, which is, fitting. It's very, very my style to tangent pretty hard. So one thing we could do is we could give this little dragon friend, like, with his feathers in the back, because we kind of gave the other dragon horns. We could give him like a little horn if we wanted to, like a little reindeer horn kind of deal. That maybe be cute. What do you guys think? Maybe? We'll think about it. We can always come back to it. Cool. So actually what I just did with my canvas is I used the crop tool to make sure that no assets were extending outside the canvas. Because when you do that, the Photoshop file reads as if the canvas is that big, and it takes up way more RAM. So if you kind of crop things down, make sure it's optimized, like once in a while when you have nothing to lose on the outside, then it's good to do that. It keeps your Photoshop running a lot smoother. Let's say Sandman says, lol, you will end up in the Garfield side of the algorithm. This stream will be overran with Garfield enjoyers. Average Garfield enjoyer. And then we got Klutzy. Welcome to the chat, Klutzy. I think you're a new viewer. Welcome. They ask, hi Gabriel, loving your streams, subscribed a couple days back and putting him in the background while working. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I actually made a playlist on my channel of just all the streams, and I've been telling my friends, like, because I want to get the watch hours up so I can like monetize the channel. You need 4,000 watch hours to monetize. So like I was so I want to get the watch hours up. So I was telling my friends, like, hey, if you want to keep the streams on in the background, when you leave the house or anything, like, here's the playlist, just like let it run. So, there is a playlist on my channel if you want to watch all the streams back. They're there. Or if you just want a podcast. Ayub says, is the thumbnail related to the project? Yes, it is. It is related. So I was kind of just playing around with the universe that we're creating here. And so we designed another dragon for fun. I did it. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Here we go. Yeah, I designed this guy kind of as like sort of like in this world, like maybe like people don't know if dragons are good or bad, kind of deal. Like the relationship hasn't been formed yet or something. So like, I don't know. There's something ambiguous about the dragon. So this dragon kind of has like a mischievous look. It could be evil or it could be good. Like, you don't know. So I wanted to extend out from our original idea, and just kind of see like, well, what would a dragon look like if it was on like the edge of this world of mystery, not necessarily in like a kitchen with these characters. So with like that far of a reach, you can then kind of like make design choices in your context based on the outer world that you have. Specificity really helps with this kind of stuff. I can talk more about that in another stream maybe for world building. Like, world building is something that I get hired to do, and it's maybe my favorite part of the job. But yeah, so in the thumbnail we do have this guy, and we'll be returning to this guy as well to talk about his design later. Right now we are cleaning up our original dude here. We're just doing some drawing, some inking, just for fun, some line art. If you guys have questions about line art or anything, feel free to ask. Um, Ink Bear, welcome Ink Bear, says, I discovered your channel recently and I love your style. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Nab says 4,000 watch hours for the stream, or do the rewatches count? I think the rewatches count. I think it's literally just watch time, like just accumulated watch time, I guess. I don't know. But like an hour, it's a lot. It's a lot of time, an hour, you know? So no expectations now. And I know like it'll exponentially increase and stuff. There's no pressure there. And Klutzy says, curious how your art routine looks like. How much time do you spend drawing in a day? How do you begin your usual productive art day? That's a great question. Honestly, my most productive art day is if the day before I was productive with art. It's like an interesting requisite. So if I'm having a slump day, I just kind of write it off and I'm like, look, man, I know I'm not going to do my best work today, but I'm just going to make a bunch of stuff and tomorrow I'll be loose and I know I'll do better work. And it's always true every time. So if you ever are having a bad art day, trust the next day will be better. But yeah, for me, if I'm drawing with like pen and ink or pencil or whatever, that always informs how I'm thinking about art. You know, the medium really matters. So when I'm starting something like this, I just kind of like allow the medium to take hold in my mind a little bit. So my Photoshop's getting a little laggy here, which is a little bit of a bother. I'm wondering if I want to like kind of quit out and clear that cache and then reopen it, see where we're going. I think I might do that. Colin says, I've already watched you for a few thousand hours, but I guess I could do it with the videos too. Yeah. So Colin and I, we've known each other for a long time, and Colin's great, and we hang out on Discord a lot with and talk about, you know, creativity, art, and all that stuff. It's great to have you on, Colin. Super stoked you're able to make it for the streams for sure. All right, while I restart Photoshop, I'm just gonna jump to the big camera. And I'll answer any questions you guys have about life or about anything. You can ask me any question about anything. I will give you an answer. For sure. Easy. Yeah. Mife Kinfey says, I love your art, man, and also your dragon project. Let's go. Hell yeah. Colin says, circle cam. Let's go. Inkbear says, do you do portfolio reviews? I can. I am definitely not an authority on portfolio reviews. I'm like, I like art. I love art. I'm still kind of at the dawn of my career in the industry, so I wouldn't want to give advice that was not coming from a place of like real usefulness. Like, I know actually a big issue is people giving advice when they really shouldn't be, to be honest. So I don't want to be one of those people. However, when it comes to reviewing portfolios, you know, one thing that I can definitely help with is finding where like there are questions that are unanswered and maybe questions that your work is asking that you maybe don't want it to be asking, or that you're showing that you don't necessarily have the requisite knowledge to work. That's like a really abstract way of saying it, but yeah. Sandman says, oh man, a bad art day is easy. A good art day is hard for me because I manage to draw faces I can render better, and when that day is gone, I can't forget how good I was the day, and it brings me down. Oh, interesting. So it's almost like a good art day makes you feel like you're set up for struggle or danger or something. There we go. Okay, Photoshop is running much smoother now. Nice. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a restart. I've had the days where, boom, all right, we're back. I've had the days where, like, I remember I was better the day before. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not as good as I was yesterday. Like, what happened? Like, I've had those days for sure. Colin says, do you struggle finding time to work strictly personal art without feeling guilty that it's not for a portfolio work? I do struggle to do that. I really struggle to do that. But recently, I've been kind of using very, very personal art, like very personal art, to be actually truly detached from anything regarding the industry. Like I've been doing like abstract painting, actually, like traditionally with watercolor and pencil and everything. And that's been hugely freeing. So giving myself that time has been an absolute gift. And I would definitely recommend that kind of stuff to people who are building a portfolio. Definitely give yourself space to work on other stuff too. Klutzy says, I struggle a lot with actually being productive. I have time to devote to my art, like 7-8 hours, but I manage only 2-3 hours of actually drawing. Yeah, okay, that's not uncommon at all, you know. It's interesting how, like, if you get a day job and you don't have as much time to do art, you like crave to do art and you like want to do it, and you're like, oh man, I wish I had 8 hours to do art. And then you get the 8 hours and it's like, I'm kind of just, you know, hanging out a little bit sometimes. That's not uncommon. I wouldn't feel bad about that, but I would kind of I would ask yourself, like, what is the thing in your mind that you are counting as a victory? So, like, if you are someone who plays video games, like I've played video games, if you're counting winning at a video game as a victory, you're not going to turn to art for your victory, or the exercising your own will successfully. You're not going to count that as a victory if you are getting that from like a video game or from, you know, another feeling, or like hanging out in a social setting in a way that's not like enriching in your long-term life. So struggling to be productive, using the word productive almost like implies loss of something you want. To be productive, you have to miss out on the things that kind of make you maybe on its face happy, like something like video games or like TV or something like that. Like being productive takes that option away. So there's a sense of sacrifice when we think about productivity. But I think that it's better to use other language other than productivity when it comes to this kind of stuff, because really it's like, are you struggling to be productive, or are you struggling to grant yourself the opportunity to bring yourself fulfillment and enrichment through the mastery of your craft and your interest? Like that I think is a much stronger motivation than I should be productive. Like who cares? Who cares if you're productive? I don't care if you're productive. No one cares if you're productive. You don't care if you're productive. You don't even want to be productive. If you wanted to be productive, you'd be productive. But that word is an adjective you apply onto something that you're doing. It's not the thing you're doing. You're not being productive. You're drawing. And when you were drawing, you were productive in your drawing, right? It's like excellence. You're not just like I'm pursuing excellence. It's like how, in what field, where? Yeah. But yeah, portfolio reviews is definitely something I'm open to. I'm thinking about, like, in the next month or so, maybe starting a very small, intimate Patreon, like really small, where, you know, it's a place like Talk Theory, something a bit more in depth, like if people are curious. And I would definitely be down to offer some kind of guidance or portfolio review for people, like once a month, you know? So it just kind of fit. Just kind of go over work with people if they really needed it. Because for me, like a monthly check-in with an artist I trusted for a while was exactly what I needed. Knowing that I was going to talk to him about the work that I did that month made me work 5 times harder every day. And I don't have that right now. And definitely shows. Inkbear says, Patreon would be amazing. I'd be the first to subscribe. Haha, let's go. Oh, sick. All right. Well, I'm glad there's some interest there, because, you know, I feel like people are a little shy when it comes to like offering their services to people. Some people really need a pep talk. Some people really need guidance, and some people really need their eyes opened. And for me, there have been so many times in my life where my eyes were opened by someone else, and I paid them, and it was so worth it. And that kind of like exchange of like teaching and resource, like it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm super excited to engage more with the community on that front for sure. And yeah, I've always liked kind of Patreon and that vibe. So we'll see. But yeah, I really appreciate the support. Yeah, and I'll put a ton of stuff in there, like brushes and mini lectures and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah. Yes. Cool. All right, I'm noodling a little bit because we want to get this drawing kind of done. Like we want to finish this within the next... Let's put some time pressure on ourselves. All right, so it's for me, it's 3 now. So I want to stream for maybe another hour. So we're going to see actually if I can kill the line art on this page in about an hour. It's totally doable. Line art, it's definitely like a pace thing too. Like if you want to get line art done quickly, you can, if you know what to do. So we're going to go a little bit fast here. Speed is something that you cultivate with a lot of practice. And we're going to see if my practice holds up in this context. Inkbear says, I'm switching from tattooing to concept art illustration, and it's really exciting. Oh man, that's so great. Like, I know a lot of artists get started with tattooing or they love tattooing. And I think it's a really cool practice, and it's super accessible in terms of like starting your art journey. So that's really sick that you had that experience and you're kind of like extending out and finding the next step on your path. Yeah, that's great. It's really great. Cool. So we want these to read as feathers, but we want to use our powers of implication. Like we want to imply feathers rather than render out every single feather. Like that's not what we're doing with this concept right now. Klutzy says, thank you so much for the advice. I just rewound it to fully absorb it. Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, in every stream, I always answer all the questions and stuff. Like, even if it takes away from what we're drawing, like, I feel like it's relevant to talk about this stuff, man. People don't talk about it enough. And, like, my personal feeling with art YouTube is very, you know, is the Loomis method actually any good? Is it good? Guys, should you do this when you draw? And the answer is always like, everything, you know, something works for everyone, and this is really great for this. But remember, you can always do something that you want to do sometime. Or, you know what I mean? Like it's it's like, I don't know, man. It's always like clickbait, and then it depends. That's pretty much every single time. Although one guy who I love in the art YouTube, creative YouTube world is this guy Struthless, Australian guy. That is a cool guy, cool channel, cool vibe, cool message, and he posts some really good stuff. So that's really great. But yeah, talking about this kind of niche stuff is good. Doesn't get talked about as much, I don't think. And yeah, people get caught up pretty quick on like, oh, what do beginners want to know? What do beginners want to know? Because beginners are the broadest audience, so people want to appeal to beginners. But there's not a lot of next steps for beginners in terms of theory. So a lot of people plateau actually, and my goal is to be that next step for people who are feeling the plateau of like, I like drawing, I like art, I want to do this. Like, you know, people don't have to be in concept art or visual development to benefit from the streams that I'm doing, I hope. So like, that's the goal, to be that next step on the plateau. So plateauing is inevitable, and it's a really cool part of the process, actually. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Actually, on one of the streams I put up on my story on Instagram, like, to ask me questions before the stream. Yeah, that was really cool because I got some great questions. So I feel like I might start doing that again. But I also want to use these streams as an opportunity to just develop my portfolio work. I'm really going to be gunning for a studio job at a big animation studio this year. I'm going to be at Lightbox, and that's my primary goal, is to really make a good impression with the recruiters there this year. Like, I had some great interactions last year, but even just in myself, my portfolio wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. So this year I'm aiming to really, really push that capacity, push my skills, push myself. So I'm trying to average out on a portfolio page every 2 days and kind of have an art book by the end of like September, October. And in October. All right, so we want to imply around this area, like we don't want this to be too tight, and we can use like a glint of light here and there to help us define these feathers. So we don't want to get too caught up. Actually, it can even be a little bit like distracting when things are too defined with line art. Abe says, I have a question. Ask away. Oh, we got more. Oh, we got a bunch. Okay, Ink Bear says, what do you think about grinding in art to succeed? I did a course with Derek Zabrocki. Not sure if you know him, and it was freaking exhausting hearing every day that you need to grind. Let's look at Eric's work really quick. Let's look. Wait, maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Oh, Derek. Okay. So this is an environment guy who does keyframe for feature, it looks like, in games. Painter. Cool. Is this the kind of stuff you want to do? This kind of painting work? Okay, let's see. We got a lot of questions. Okay, this is sick. Oh, okay, you're not sure. I prefer more stylized stuff. Oh, okay, but you did the course just to kind of try it out. Yeah, so well, let's pull it down. Let's look at this because this is important to note. So if you are looking to do work like this, right, you want to paint and you want to do this kind of work where you're able to create these worlds and moments that people believe and fall into. To be able to communicate these kind of ideas, you do need a high degree of skill. So I think that less than looking at this kind of work and being like, oh, do I need to grind to get this good? I would more think about it like, when do you want to be producing this level of work? Because if you want to be producing this level of work in 10 years, you know, maybe you don't need to grind that hard, but you do need to practice a lot of your time. But if you want to be producing this work in like a couple years, you have to grind incredibly hard because you're not just learning, you're learning through doing, but you're also learning through theory. So you have to be like thirsty for repetition and thirsty for knowledge, because in this situation, you have to know a lot about light. There's a lot of stuff happening with light in this image. It looks like there's photo bash here with the clouds, which is good. But this kind of keyframe, like you have to understand a lot to be able to pull something like this off in a believable way. So it's like all the skills required to do something like this, you have to do a lot of work to get here. For me personally, it never felt worth it to me to put in, oh, huh. Fuck. Oh, are we back? Is it working? Okay. You guys heard me swear for the first time on the channel. That's funny. Oops. Oh, that was funky. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay, yeah. So that's so funny. Oh man. Yeah. Sorry about that dip. Looks like we lost a few people in the dip. That's so funny. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like Wi-Fi is kind of struggling for me, which is annoying because I got the super fast Spectrum Wi-Fi. It's okay. I think I just need to get a hardwire connection. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so if you're aiming to do work like this, for me personally, it never felt worth it to put in the amount of practice, time, effort to be able to produce work like this. Because again, when you specialize in something, you're not losing, but you're closing the door to something else. So it's not like, oh, I want to do realism. I really wish I could do realism. It's like, or rather than thinking, I'm sad I can't do realism, rather than saying that, really focus on what do I want to be able to do? What's the magic power I choose? Like imagine you can choose fire or water, air, or you know what I mean? Like you have to choose one to become excellent at it. Like for me, it was always more worth it to create a sense of like charm and wonder through character. So I never felt compelled to pursue art to this level in this way. I never felt compelled to do that. And I never felt the kind of satisfaction that I did when I made a character and it made someone laugh or smile in a more stylized way. So yeah, to answer that question, like, oh yeah, Inkbear says, I realized that after the course and I loved Eric's work, but it's not what I want to do. So going back to your original question of do you need to grind? I can tell you honestly that I have done a lot of grinding in my life, and doing this kind of, let's see, it looks like, okay, I think the stream is still working. So we're good here. I think we're good still. Let me reload something. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. But yeah, so yeah, no worries, dude. I'm happy to talk about it. And again, it's relevant, and like the hope is that if somebody watches like all the streams back to back, like they kind of get all these questions answered for themselves too. So I'm trying to make sure that when people watch these back, or there's some kind of lasting value. And I'll definitely, go through and compile key things. And when I eventually create a self-study course, whether it's like next year or the year after or whatever, then I'll include all these questions as relevant questions because they are relevant. But yeah, is it worth it to grind? I have done a lot of grinding in my life. Let me give you an example if I can. When I was an illustrator and a younger artist in my teens and in my 20s, early 20s, I drew so much. And it wasn't necessarily character design. It wasn't necessarily visual development, but it was stuff like, it was like kind of stuff, a lot of stuff like this. Like this kind of like line art world of like line and shape and balance and all of this stuff. Like I would do a lot of this kind of design. And I would just fill pages and 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 pages of just like line work and random doodles and designs. And I was interested in typography for a while and embellishments. And I love William Morris. I love Gustav Klimt. Like I love these guys, you know, and Mucha. I love Mucha. So I was doing a lot of drawings where, you know, it was a lot of like beautiful kind of patterns where I was really expressing my desire to like achieve appealing organic shapes. You know, stuff, just like random stuff. So I did my grinding for what I want to do. But it never felt like grinding. That's the thing. It just felt fun. So if it feels like a grind, then either you need some reframing or you need to figure out what you want to do. But all of those drawings helped me in my drawings like this one, because as I'm doing these different shapes, those shapes are easy for me to create because I've done like 1,000 shapes 1,000 times, you know, and 1,000 sketchbook pages. Doesn't matter what age you start, doesn't matter anything. A testament to this is my buddy Modern Day James, who I was on a stream the other day, and that guy started in his 20s, and he got so good so fast. So I don't even think he feels like he did a grind. I think he just like learned and had fun and taught a lot and did some cool stuff. But you need to grind at what you want to be good at if you want to be good at it. That's kind of the lesson here. But like the brutal narrative around grinding, I think is toxic and strange. And I think that, man, I don't know. I think the language around it is very hazy and very like, join our cult, so we can all give each other props for bleeding so much. It's like, yeah, maybe. Let's see. We also had some other questions here. How do you deal with the concept of perfection as an artist? Perfectionism is my biggest struggle. It's what's kept me from not finishing all the projects, and it is my number one nemesis, perfectionism. It's the biggest challenge. That's actually why I embraced concept art so much. Like ultimately, I don't want to do concept art forever. I actually want to work in a field of story, like in either doing storybooks or comics. But concept art for me was a great way to perfect my skills and let go of that perfectionism, because you can't be a perfectionist and do this job. It's not possible. You have to let go and let the idea be the idea. And that's helped me so much with my illustration work, like so much. We've also got some other questions. Salmon says, my goal is to be the people and watch and learn. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Abe says, how do you balance out your personal and art life? Before I struggle with either staying home to work on stuff or go out and socialize just for the sake of it. Yeah. Though I think the key word there is just for the sake of it. If you're socializing with a purpose and it's like a beautiful purpose, then like, hell yeah. I think if it's just to fill a void in your life, like you're not going to wake up feeling better the next day. You know, you may feel better in that moment, but you're not going to feel better the next day. That's why something like Discord is great, because you can socialize online with other artists that you like and respect. It's like really great. So you're able to get socialization in a context that drives you forward. That was huge for me, especially during COVID. Then the stream died. That's so funny. Cool. Oh, we got some more. Cool. Myfe says, I can understand structure and line art lessons, but I haven't internalized anything about color. Do you recommend any resources for learning color? Books or videos are fine. I do have some resources for color, for sure. Honestly, Basic Lesson on the Color Wheel is a great place to start. So anyone that teaches the color wheel is great. If you want to talk about color temperature, There's a few really great videos about color temperature. There's 2 I can link probably in the chat for you guys if you wish. Let's see. Yeah, this one's great. Nathan Folks, The Not Rule of Color Temperature. This was put on Bobby Chew's YouTube channel, which is great. Oh, man. Okay, it seems like we're freezing again, which is a little frustrating. Let's see if this is working. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, guys, I'm really sorry about that. I really don't know what the connection is. I am weirdly enough thinking it has something to do with the heat, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it could be the heat because my computer is very hot right now. And I don't have the AC on in my room because I don't want the sound to interfere with the stream. So I'm not super sure what to do. But that video is great for color. I just put it in the chat. There's another one I liked too, which maybe I can find it. Yeah, here's another one. Boom. Bugsy says freezing because of heat sounds sus. It is sus. Yeah, no worries, Maif. No worries. Yeah, I'll maybe put together like a reading list or something for YouTube for people. Maybe that'll be my first Patreon post, is like a forum for like a reading list I recommend to people. Let's see if we missed a question. Let's see. She says that kind of realistic art looks amazing. A lot of respect people who can do it, but stylized speaks to me more, and I have tons more fun with it. Relate to your point a lot. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then Ink says same for HG. My tattoos are stylized as well. I like to express in the concept of illustration as well. I think something we have to do is something. Yeah. Okay. Pretty much. Yeah. Like 100%, man. You guys get it. Bugsy says get a mouth guard if you're grinding. Hell yeah. Huh. Yeah, so the Wi-Fi is spiking for me. I hope the connection's okay. I'm so sorry that it's disrupting the stream. I feel like it's some really good topics, so I want to make sure that you guys know what to do. We also got another one. Did you always know what you wanted to be in this field? Currently, if a hiring party is looking at my portfolio, they might be confused about what to hire me for. How can I fix that? Make the work that you want to get hired for. That's the easiest way to fix that, Klutzy. It's the easiest way. If you make the work that you want to get hired for, then you'll get hired for that work if there's a market for it. So the first thing is to figure out if there's a market for what you want to do, and then create work. That's the first. Simon says, turn on the AC. We don't care as long as it works and we can hear you. Maybe. Rob says, where did you look for initial jobs or gigs? Do you have any tips of where to look, especially for working with teams at all? Yeah. Also, what up, Rob? Welcome to the chat. I still have to look at your work, man. I'm so sorry that fell by the wayside. There's an old eggplant in the chat. Yeah. Grandpa Eggplant. That's Rob. He's a cool dude. Really cool dude in New York. Yeah, really great drawings. Yeah, so initial jobs are the hardest. The first gigs are always the hardest, man. Like people always want, like if you're busy, people want to hire you. If you're not really doing anything, people are kind of like, yeah, what are you doing? So initial jobs, honestly, man, like that's a hard question to answer. I think like it hugely depends on if you want to do freelance, full-time, what kind of work you want to do. But for me, I got a lot of opportunities online, actually. So I spent a lot of time on Discord, a lot of time, and I did a lot of drawing, made a lot of friends, and it was great, like a lot of networking. And in this industry, for concept art and for freelance, a lot of it is who you know. And if you talk to one FCD guy, they know like 100 FCD guys. FCD is a school in Singapore, a concept art school. And like those guys are hardcore and they all know each other, man. And they hire each other and they talk to each other and they give each other gigs. Like, so if you want to produce work in this field, there's 2 challenges ahead of you. You have to be able to actually compete. So you have to be able to do the work, which is the hardest part. And you have to know people. It's way easier to know people if you can do the work. So if you try to start networking before your skills are at least like getting there, then it's like the kind of engagement you're going to get for that kind of stuff. Like it's not going to be like what you want. Like you want to make sure that if like someone is your friend and they want to help you, they can actually offer you a gig. Because even if someone's your friend and they could offer you a gig, if you're not qualified, they literally can't. Because you literally can't do the job. So if you're like, oh, I want to be a character designer, please give me a character design job, and you get the job, and they're like, okay, we need this, and you're like, oh, okay, sure, and you draw a guy, and his like hands are behind his back, and the costume doesn't mean anything, and it's like generically drawn, and nothing is specific. They're like, what are the buttons made of? How do we know what this is? What is that? What is this? You know, this doesn't look like a real bucket. I can't give this to my 3D guy. All of a sudden, it's like you are way behind. And it's like you're going to get dropped because you literally can't do the job. And that's like fine. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what happens. There's no point feeling like bad about that. But when you're looking for jobs, it's important to know what you actually need to do to get qualified. Also, we totally did not make any progress on this drawing. We've been chatting a lot. I should get better at answering questions while I work. Okay, we have half an hour. Let's go. We can crunch it. Cool. But also, Bugsy makes a good point. Fake it till you make it. Like, don't try to be perfect. Just make sure that you can learn on the job and like get ideas down if you want to do concept art. What else? Yeah, Fengzu School, FCD. Yeah, my smartphone is bugging. It replaced some A's with key. That's funny. Yeah, Bugsy's the homie. Tara says, what up, Tara? Tara says, you should host an AMA. Maybe. I might, actually, to be honest. Seems like people have a lot of questions. And artists don't really go live that much answering these kind of questions. Or I guess some do. Again, I know there's some great resources like Steven Zapata is out here answering questions and stuff. And it's great for the art folks to have some people they can rely on. All right, let's make sure these shapes are feeling good. Colin says, I just stand outside of studios with a boombox over my head. I mean, I've heard stories about people who literally are like outside the door. They meet everybody who goes in and out, and they're just like, I really want to work here. This is my work. I really want to work here. And they practice and they show their work every day. And I think eventually they got hired. Which if you want to do that, if you want to try, you can try. Oh man, it's so funny. Someone just texted me with a question and I almost read it out loud like it was a chat question. Cool. Alrighty. That might actually be a good tactic. It's not a bad tactic. I mean, even getting an answer like a no is good. Like a lot of people don't ask because they're afraid to be told no. But if you get told no, then you know where you're at. If you don't ever get told no, then you don't know where you're at. And the thing is that when you get told no, it makes you want to take action. If you're afraid of the answer, you might not make any changes because you're so worried about your self-worth. But if you're clear about your self-worth and that you're somebody who practices, you're somebody that strives to improve, and that is worth a lot, then you don't need to worry about getting a rejection or an acceptance. Colin says that's literally how Hanson got signed. Epic. That's so sick. Klutzy says, do you know about Sin Studio, Montreal, Canada? It's a concept art school with a great curriculum. One on my short list of art schools. Which school did you study in? Yeah, so I didn't study for concept art. I studied illustration. I studied it in the UK with a focus on sequential art towards the end. I started to specialize in sequential art. So I was getting ready to go into comics for me. I know a lot of concept artists who went to fashion school. I know concept artists that didn't go to school at all or went to school for engineering. There's a lot of concept artists that went to school for engineering. And medical school, modern day James, he was in medical school and he didn't want to do it anymore. So he pursued art. But yeah, Sin Studio, I have heard of it. I've heard good things. I don't know a whole lot about it. But I went to Norwich University of the Arts in the UK. Yeah, the UK has some great schools. That's one of them. I learned a lot there, which is fantastic. Great community. The staff that had an impact on me had a strong impact on me. And they kind of have something for everyone, which is good. But yeah, art school, definitely not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. But it can be an asset if you don't know quite what you want to do or if you want to just improve, right? Oh, man. All right, I'm going to turn the AC on. You guys tell me if it's like terrible for sound because I am dying. All right, let's try. All right, is that a terribly loud sound? Is that horrible or is that like kind of okay? I actually don't know. Please crank it up. Oh, okay. So you guys don't really hear it. Okay, thank God. All right, because I am going to die. Also, welcome, Kelly. Set it to terrible. I feel like there's a way to, like, make it so I can, like, have it, like, at a threshold so it doesn't hear certain volumes or so. I don't know, man. I want to be able to hear you sweat. Okay, it's okay. Okay, cool. Good. I feel 1,000 times better now. Also, I'm gonna hydrate. Hydration cam. That's good to know so that next stream I can also keep it air conditioned up. Okay, wait, we're on a crunch. We're on a crunch time. All right, so we got to be a little mindful with our lines here because we can't just absentmindedly do this. So, okay. We have the plumage in the front. We want it to kind of lick over the edge here. We talked a lot about stuff that wasn't designing dragons this time, but that's okay. Maybe next time I'll structure the questions so people can ask about designing dragons specifically. We can talk about that. Sandman says, Jim Lee was in his last year in studying because a psychologist told his parents to let him try his art thing for 1 year, and if he failed, he will quit and become a doctor like they wanted him to do. Great. Yeah, no, literally. So, like, man, if you really want to do something, truly, and you approach it with zeal and passion, I feel like it's better than pursuing a soulless career just for a kind of, like, false stability, you know? Because, like, yeah, maybe you're stable materially, maybe even in excess, but it's like the stability in your inner being is always going to be off, always. And I don't know if that's worth it, you know? Like, definitely find what you want to do. And it doesn't always have to be either a doctor or art. It could be something in the middle. Like, I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves to figure out specifically based on, like, a category. Like, I want to be an artist. It's like, you don't have to. Inkbear says, art career is not an easy choice. It's a tough world for artists, in my opinion. I studied archaeology and later languages, French and Italian, but I couldn't let go of art. Yeah, man, it's like, if you can't let go of it, then those are the people who really make it when you really can't let it go, you know? My buddy Kofi Ofosu, he quit art, I think it was like 4 times. Every single time he quit art, he would burn all of his sketchbooks. This is my buddy Kofi. We'll have him on the stream soon, actually. Kofi would burn all of his sketchbooks, and he would, like, start, and then he would quit art and go, I'm not doing art anymore. And then, like, you know, half a year would go by, like, whatever, how much time would go by, and he would, oh man, he would fall back in love, and he would start drawing again. And I always thought it was so beautiful. Like, he's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm burning my sketchbooks. Blah, blah, blah. Go back to art. Then he would burn out and go, no, I'm quitting. I don't know what to do. Mind you, Kofi is from Ghana, right? And then he finally, one time he quit, and he goes, okay, if I choose art, if I'm not going to quit this time, if I quit this time, or if I come back to art this time, it's only art. He's like, it's this or I die. And he picked up art again, and dude, since then, he's worked with Netflix, he's worked with some really cool people. Like, Kofi's really cool. He's just been popping off in a really beautiful way. Let's drop Kofi's art in the chat for sure. Kofi's the boy. But that's an inspiring story, man. So that's somebody who couldn't put it back down. And he kind of, like, in his, like, late 20s started to pop off and kind of make some efforts and get some gigs. So, you know, it takes time. It takes time for this stuff. Or it can take time for people, but he's just killing it. Let's see. Sandman says, about that dragon boy, are your dragons mostly female, like the Ring of Fire? Or are they 50-50 male to female? I am like Kofi. I quit like 50 times. Yeah, this dragon, I guess I haven't thought of a gender. This dragon's kind of genderless right now. I was thinking it was like a little guy. I was thinking he was just like a little guy, you know? But yeah, no, he's a little guy. But I think in this world it's probably 50-50. They fall in love probably and hang out and stuff, you know? That's what I'm imagining in this world. He good soul, yeah. Bugsy says, plot twist. He burned him for equivalent exchange. Like, F, I made it get better. Dude, I wish. Abe says, do you know Lewis Mint? I do know Lewis Mint. Lewis Mint is actually a very dear friend. That guy is really cool. That guy's one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to in my life. He's just one of those guys. Great mentality. Oh, nice. Being mentored by Lewis. That's sick. Yeah, he's good. Lewis is really good. Yeah, I remember actually months ago he messaged me and he was like Gabriel, I got contacted to be a mentor. I don't know what to do. Like I think I don't know if he was talking about you though. Mike says, even though I don't enjoy practicing, I sometimes believe that creating my own characters and animating them is what drives me to create art. Man, bringing an animation to life is magic. It's just magic. I did an animation once of like a very simple character. Let's see if I can find it. Huh. Here we go. Let's see if it'll move. I don't like when it does that. Okay. I don't think I can actually... There we go. I did this character. I put him on Instagram, actually. His name is Tater McTopman. Look at him go. Look at Tater McTopman go. Oh, man. That's so great. Look at him doing his little walk. He's just great. Bless him. Yeah, exactly. He's blessed. He's a blessed guy. That was fun. I also did a little running guy. Oh, yeah. This is him like going really fast. Animating is really fun. I'll tell you that much. I did this icon as well. Will it actually display or no? See this one? Hello? Sometimes it doesn't like actually play the animation. Yeah, no, it's okay. That's so funny. Maybe. Who knows? This is the stream of never ending, not finishing the drawing we're working on, apparently. It's okay. We're having fun. We're just hanging out. Hangout stream, baby. Cool. And then we do his little fingies. I'm imagining his hands are almost like a little bit human-esque, or like not like a little bit very I don't know what the right word to use is. Like, this dragon has fine motor skills. Like, he could hold a little thing. You know, like how raccoons have little hands? Kind of like that. Like, maybe a bit of a disturbing way. Like, I'm glad it's not... Simon says, I'm glad it's not me that's stopping you from drawing this time. That's funny. Dexterous hands. That's exactly the word. I was thinking about dexterous, but I was like, maybe that's not the word, but it is the word. Dexterous is the word. Thank you, Bugsy. He's got little dexterous hands. He's a little cute little guy. So he has thumbs. I think he does have thumbs. They're not visible here though. Unless we have like his hand on this side and his hand is kind of like showing his thumb here. But that feels like almost too human. That feels uncanny. Oh man. Ba 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 ba. Oh, we got someone in the chat. Vitor Sarah. Welcome, Vitor. Thanks for joining. Thanks for asking the question. Do I recommend any books on character design? That's tough, man. I don't know if there are any good books on character design, to be honest. Character design is one of the absolute hardest assets of design, in my opinion. I think that if you're struggling with technical stuff, then anatomy books are great, and doing studies is great, of like clothing folds, stuff like that. Like the technical elements is good. It's good to start for books anyway. For theory of character design hinges on what you're designing the character for. So it's hard to actually formulate a book around it. In my opinion. I haven't come across a good one. Yeah, maybe you're right, Bugsy. Like an owl claw. Good for grabby. Yeah, exactly. We could do something funky like that. Make the design very funky. So the hand is kind of like two main ones, and then like two smaller ones that kind of maybe fold, and when they clasp, it's like the top knuckle goes under, the bottom ones come up. Kind of like that, maybe? Or the other way around. No, that feels right to me. Or like they go over under. Like that. Is that what it is? I don't know. For now, maybe we'll just do two fingers and a little thumb. But what we'll do to make it a little less human-y, less creepy, is we will really widen one element of the finger, like at the end, and do a little claw. That always helps. Beep boop pop. See if you got any more questions in the chat. Maybe unfunctional tiny hands like a T-Rex. We could do. I kind of want to have him holding some stuff though, or we need. Well, actually, not necessarily for this, but I think he needs little hands because we want options. Like for instance, if he's like a holding stuff. Like we want to make sure that if we gave this character to a writer, they would be able to have a lot of fun with him. Vitor says, thank you so much for your answer. Your art is amazing. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, dude, we're having fun. I mean, the theory of character design, like I talk about it every single time I stream. So if you tune into the streams, you're bound to learn enough to make a character. Okay, I'll tell you what, guys. So over a year ago, I kind of had this pact with myself of like, okay, I'm going to start my YouTube journey. Obviously I didn't because it was a year ago and I started this channel very, but let's see here. I did a character in 8 hours. It was an 8-hour character design challenge. And I did this guy. You can even see how much I've improved since this one character. Let me see if I can find him. I think I just called it 8-hour characters. Yeah, here we go. I came up with this design last year in 8 hours, right? It's this was the design. It was this botanist that essentially travels around with like a cool backpack that is also a mini atrium. And this was the design I did, and this was like a year ago. So you can even see how much I've improved since this drawing with the other recent work that I've done. But this is fun to do in 8 hours. It was like a super tight crunch. Like I have to have an idea, come up with it, execute it, do the line art and everything. So after finishing that aspect of it, what did I do? No, that's another PSD. Yeah. So I dropped some values down, or some shading, some shadows. And I added a couple other sketches for maybe some kind of a expression or whatever. And I did, yeah. Oh yeah, I think this was the final I was thinking about. But I did another little drawing as well. I never finished posting this, but this was the prop. The coolest part of this was the prop, right? This is when I added some value, some shading. You can see how much of a difference it makes. So the idea was he traveled around with this tiny atrium backpack thing that he like canvases shut, but he can like open the flap so it gets light, for instance. Like that was the idea. This little traveling guy. But yeah, this was all done in 8 hours. The idea to the execution. So what I'm thinking about is when it comes to character design theory, like this was a very fun character design to do. It was in unity with the prop. The prop was really important to the character. I think even so like I even had a possum like side character that I ended up cutting for time and stuff. But I came up with all these ideas like, you know, all in one day. But I was going to turn it into a video and publish it, but I never did because I got scared. I went to edit it and I was trying to do it all on the iPad and it just didn't work, and I got scared and I just didn't do it. But you know, I'm making this stuff now. I'm having a lot of fun with it now. And honestly, like I would be down to do more stuff like that in the future, like timed challenges where it's all about theory. Or at least I think I'll be posting videos where I do that challenge, specifically for character design. So hopefully that goes well. HG says, I love his little eyebrow feathers. Adds a lot of character. Yeah, so again, tools for emoting. These are things we can do to improve our character. We didn't do a lot of dragon designing this stream. Man, I just end up having too much fun with the chat, which is great, but maybe you want to be a little bit more focused. I don't know. My worry is that I want these streams to have great rewatch value. So if someone missed it, they can still feel like they're getting a lot from rewatching it. Like that's the goal. So sometimes I'm a little hesitant to just spend a lot of time hanging out or just like chatting with the chat. But it is a good part of the stream, and it is a cool thing to engage with the community like this. I didn't expect it to be this fun, so I'm really excited by it. And I think the questions are relevant as well for other people who are watching back too. Yo, what up, Lashy? Welcome. Lashy says, yo, just wanted to say a quick hi. Love you, buddy. Welcome. And Colin says, yes, remember our 30 to 60 minute character design challenges? I miss those. Dude, yeah. So we used to do these challenges where we would design a character in an hour or 30 minutes. And we would use that as like this kind of jumping off challenge. And those are great to do because it's never the actual idea you draw, it's what you do after, right? And for me, one of the ideas that I did for one of these like 1 hour character design challenges ended up being one of my most successful narrative ideas. I did, well, let's find it, baby. We're just doing a bit of a nostalgia binge now, would appear. Yeah. So my 1 hour character design, I did this character called Blood, but it started with a different drawing. It was like different initially, and then I pushed it to this. Do I have the first drawing of Blood? I don't know if I do. I don't think so. But out of this drawing of Blood, I then decided that he needed like a little friend, like a little sidekick. And the little sidekick, her name was Leaf. And she kind of softened him, even though he was a Doom Viking. And Leaf had a very tragic backstory, but she grows up to be a mighty warrior, as seen in this loading image. Yeah, she grows up to be a mighty warrior maiden. And they do battle, and they help each other, and they grow together on this journey. And as Blood gets older, you know, she also gets older and becomes a powerful character. But how they met was kind of dark, you know. Initially, who knows if Blood was gonna spare her life, but then he has to become her protector. He has to protect her from these bad dudes. And he goes, rah, and he slashes him. And he goes, rah, and he slashes him. And yeah, then I did a little bit of a redesign. Wow, of Blood. Wow, he's Blood. Viking Blood. I cannot believe it. It's Blood the Viking. But yeah, that all came from a 1-hour character design challenge. So they're super useful to do. Inkbear says, I have to go. It's time to go to bed. Can't wait for another stream. Dude, thanks for joining, man. Thanks for joining. See you next time. And HC says, love the design and that you named a botanist Herbie. Yeah, he was cool. I liked Herbie. Herbie was cool. And then Klutzy says, do you take a break after art stream or continue with drawing for long hours post stream? It depends, man. After this, I have to start painting. I'm doing a traditional album cover for someone. So I'm like jumping to a whole other medium after this. It was a gig I had to say yes to, man. I couldn't turn it down. Literally, I had to do it. And Ayub says, I think most art streams are watched in the background while working. Aditya says, these are so good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just trying to do a lot of cool art. I just got to get better at, like, you know, staying right, letting the story be story. Fig.com says, someone who I haven't heard from in the stream, welcome, Fig.com, says, from what I've seen, your characters are filled with life and story. Every detail is there to add to their personality and such. I'm wondering how you can add so much without it becoming cluttered. That's a great question. I think I got that question a while ago, actually. And it's a great question because people have the tendency to just absolutely stack their designs with detail. And it can work sometimes if it's for the purpose of that, right? But again, working backwards from what is the character for. If the character is for animation, you're able to use narrative to say more about who the character is, right? And what you're then doing is designing to allow that story to take place. If you're designing for a game and you need the character to be like visible immediately as something specific, then you're going to be a bit more obvious with how you design and what details you add. Sandman says, maybe I should do some of these. I'll try to do a Middle East themed character like that one. Oh, dude, heck yeah. Oh man, I've been super in the Middle Eastern themed characters recently. Super into it. It's been really fun. Well, I'll tell you what. Honestly, I'm going to launch a Discord soon. And when I launch the Discord, we're going to host some of those character design challenges for sure. Either that or I'm going to host them on the Lightbox Discord channel. And anybody's free to join. We will see. But they're super fun, character design challenges. Super duper fun. I might, honestly, it could be interesting if I did like maybe like a Patreon and with like a Patreon Discord, and like we do those together in the Discord. And that's like part of the thing. I don't know. We'll see. We're brainstorming. Rob said, what would be the benefit of an amateur artist going to Lightbox? Amateur artist going to Lightbox. Well, number one, you realize that all these artists are just people. They're just people. A lot of them are socially awkward. A lot of them are just at their booth, you know, hanging out. And you'd be surprised how welcoming they are and they can be. The other thing is that you can do portfolio reviews if you wish. I do have to disclose I am affiliated with Lightbox. Like I moderate for the Discord channel. And so like I do have some ties to them, just full disclosure. But I think it's great. Lightbox is, if it's expensive for you to go, just weigh the options on if it's worth it. But it's a great place to meet people as well. If you have like Discord friends that you know are going, then that's huge. Like for me, meeting all my friends from like Spain, Netherlands, Canada, like all over the US, like that was so nice to be able to meet some of my dear friends in person. That was a huge benefit of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rob said my schedule doesn't permit it unless I move some big things around. But I remember you saying it was really awesome for you. Yeah, for me, it was really awesome because like I knew exactly what I wanted to get out of it, and I did. Like I made a lot of first impressions, I met a lot of cool people, and I got to see a lot of my dear friends whom I love. So that was really special. If you don't have strong reasons, it may not be worth it for you this year, but think about what you want to achieve the next year and kind of like have a bit of a wind up for it. Like this year, my goal is to like really solidify some industry connections with a very strong portfolio that I can like hand to people and leave with them, like a printout. And then the next year after that, my goal is to table. So it's good to know your long-term plans and your short-term plans. So right now, consolidation of the skill that I have into actual examples of work is what I'm doing the most, which is kind of this character and all other characters I'll be doing up until then. Okay. Cool. Almost have enough here to put this to bed and move on. So we might go over time a little bit just to try and get this line art done. I'm going to try and see if I can hustle this out. So yeah, for the scales on this guy, I'm going to come at it from another angle, and I'm just going to really do my best here to, again, not do too much detail. But again, we're going for implied detail. We want it to be clean enough. Mife says, goodbye, Gabriel. Thank you for the fun stream. I gotta go. Dude, take care. Thanks for dropping in. Klutzy says, do you set time frames for your personal projects? And usually how long does it take to finish a character concept project? Yeah, so like, oh man. Well, for me, it's interesting deciding what deserves to get finished. Like sometimes I'll do a project, and before I move to a finish, I think to myself, is this actually worth finishing? Or was this a really great learning opportunity for me? Because if it's worth finishing, then I'll usually finish it. But if it is something that it just like I learned a lot, but I know the next thing I do will be way better and I should finish that, then I'll do that. But it's hard to balance that. Like oftentimes that leads to not finishing a lot of stuff. But you do kind of have like a rapid growth vibe, which is if it's what you want, and if you can do that, then it's great. But yeah, how long does it take to finish a character? I'll try to keep it tight. Like, so for me, I try and, you know, day for concept, day for finish, like line art, color, but that's like adds up to a day. So if it's a good character or like a detail heavy character, it could take as long as like, you know, a couple days to finish. But if it's like a pretty fast character, then it takes like an afternoon, man. It doesn't take that long. Cool. So scales are definitely a feature of this character. Not like a crazy important feature, but an important feature. Because these are scaled dragons, but they also have this kind of fur element. But we want to make sure that we're not overemphasizing anything. And we're going to allow for the color underneath to say a lot more as well. Kind of like how we did it with the other design. This guy. Like kind of how the scales, we kind of show highlights some places, darkness some places, the light hits in other places. Like you imply a scaly look with color and light. So we want to be leaning on that a lot for this design. Less so relying on the lines themselves. But yeah, time frames. I actually need to get better at setting time frames for the work that I do, to be honest. Time frames is an area of development that I want to improve. Yeah, definitely want to improve. Needs to improve on that for sure. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any important messages while streaming. Gotta be careful not to go totally AWOL. Oh my gosh, awesome. Awesome. My girlfriend's coming over soon. I'm really excited. I love her. I love when she comes and hangs out. Let's go. Let's go. Cool. I'm happy. All right, now I have something to look forward to. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Yeah. For macro projects though, Klutzy, honestly, in my mind I like to think of things in month blocks. So like I'll work on an IP for a month and then I'll move on. And if it's not worth finishing, I've got like 4 IPs I haven't finished that are like good, but I just haven't finished them. I learned so much, and I was doing freelance work, and it was more important to me to continue to do the freelance work and to continue to learn. But honestly, I should have finished one, even just one for my portfolio, which I didn't do. But then I wouldn't have learned anything on the other ones. So it's tough. It's a tough break. But I'm going to be finishing one soon. So this is one I'm going to finish, Benny's Kitchen. I'm going to finish this over the next month, and then I'm going to return to another IP that I worked on where it's filled with sky pirates. I think I showed some of that work before, and I'm going to be finishing that as well. Cool. So form is important here. We're kind of losing our form on this side. So doing this kind of thing where you're following the edge allows us to retain the form. Rob says, always a great stream, homie. See you soon. Yeah, thanks for joining, Rob. Appreciate it. Best of luck with everything, man. All right. Klutzy says, noted. How many projects are you planning in one portfolio display? So it's good to note what you're trying to achieve with your portfolio. For me, what I want to really highlight is that my characters are full of life. I can design very diverse characters, like a very diverse array of characters, so I can do anything. I can do, a grandma cooking for her children, her grandchildren. I can do, an old wizard. I can do a sci-fi, protagonist who is controlled by a demon. Like I need to be able to show I can do anything, right? As a character designer. Of course, people have strong points, but diversity is a skill of note when people are hiring a character designer. They want to make sure you can actually do stuff. So showing that, and also showing the quality of my thinking, right? So you want to show range, and you want to show that you have a banger process. So having purpose to the characters is really important. So anything that gets those across is important. Vitor says, what are you... Oh, Sandman says, thank you for teaching us how to render dragon skin. Well, it's one form of rendering dragon skin. This is just this is a stylized representation of scales, or a certain kind of scale. There's a million ways to do dragon stuff. But yeah, Vitor says, what are your biggest references today? Are you talking about like in the macro view, like my art references and inspirations, or like literally what I'm working on right now, like today, what I'm doing right now? All right, which one were you talking about, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, the answer to the latter is today I'm not actually using reference. Today I'm just relying on shape languages that I know, anatomy that I know, and inspiration that I know and that I think about. Sometimes I like to stay in my own world. So in my art, my biggest reference is in my art in general. Nature is a huge component. Also purpose. Like I like that when my characters have jobs, like they have something to do. My characters have something to do, right? And if they're a warrior, like what kind of warrior? Why do they fight? You know, not just like, I am a knight. It's like, why are you a knight? What kind of knight are you? Are you an honorable knight? Are you a dishonorable knight? Are you secretly afraid? Do you have something planned? Are you good? Do you actually secretly hate the violence you're committing? Like why? Like what do you do? What you do? Those things are really important. So, yeah, purpose is like a huge point of reference for me. But in terms of actual just style, I love comic artists. I love Gigi Cavanago, Sergio Topi. I love the Nouveau era of art. Like I love Alphonse Mucha, that whole era, even into the Deco era. For actual character designers, for inspiration. Oh, okay. It looks like my stream is frozen again. Okay, it looks like I'm back. Sorry for the dip. Cool. Yeah, I gotta fix this Wi-Fi connection issue for sure. Cool. Hopefully it's back now. Yeah, let me know when you guys can see me again. I'm just gonna keep drawing this dragon guy. Nice. Okay. Michael, welcome to the chat, Michael. I love Michael. Michael's the guy. Yeah, biggest influences. Yeah, those artists I mentioned. In terms of character designers, I don't know if I can like pick one that I really like, or in any particular order. Gosh. But yeah, I love era of print. I love children's books, storybooks. I love movies. I watch a lot of movies. Movies are great. I do watch some shows. But yeah, comics are a huge point of inspiration for me, for sure. History is maybe the most significant point of reference for me. I love history. History teaches us a lot about life. Learning good history can help so much to become a better character designer. Like so much. All history, any history at all helps you. Max Grech has been one of the most influential. Max Grech, he has a YouTube channel, right? That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, for like YouTubers, I started with Psychra. I love Psychra. If that guy ever watches my videos, I'd be like, oh my gosh. Full circle, inverted. Cypher's great. Ahmed Al-Duri is great. Cynics is great. I love Cynics. Yeah, Cynics was really nice at Lightbox, actually. He was cool. James Gurney. James Gurney has a great YouTube channel. Definitely watch James Gurney if you haven't. He's the guy. He's the GOAT, truly. He's the GOAT. Nice. Yeah, also other stuff, like doing other stuff is an inspiration for me. Just living life is an inspiration. I live in New York City, so like every day it's a character design, like 10 character designs walk past me. It's like cheating. It's hilarious. Like strange, bizarre aesthetic people. It's like really cool. I noticed like that kind of in France too. Managed to living in New York, man. You're just you're surrounded by life. But yeah, the life around you really impacts you. I know people who are surrounded by nature. They're very impacted by nature. I definitely was too when I lived in Bermuda. Nature and biology is like a huge point for me. Oh, sorry if there's another freeze, guys. I don't know what the issue is. I'm going to get an Ethernet cable and fix it for the next stream, probably. I think. Cool. There he is. Look at him go. He's just a little cutie with his little scales. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Wait. His name is Egg, and he's so cute. Man, this is what's fun about doing these kind of character designs. You get to really have a lot of fun. So I'll probably end up turning the opacity down on a lot of these scales to make sure they're not like too loud in the final design. I'll change the color, turn them way down, maybe erase a lot of them out. But for now, they're good. They're fine for now. He's just a little guy. Cool. One down. Boom, baby. Let's do the next expression. The next express. Boom. Alrighty. Cool. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, today's stream wasn't super focused. I hope the viewers can forgive me for that. I might start doing like chapters. That's a lot of work though, but like chaptering sections of the stream so when people watch them back they can be like, oh, he's not designing here, he's talking about this, he's talking about this here, or answering certain questions, or maybe that would help kind of like make sure people could get a lot out of it, the stream. But I don't know if I want to actually go back and do that for every stream. It's a lot of work. Klutzy says, today's stream was quite insightful, though. Loved it. Okay, great. I'm glad. As long as there is insight, we're good. We are good. I just want to make sure I'm not too low. My little camera guy, my little camera bubble. I'm just like a little bit in the corner. Hello. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be a green screen guy. I don't ever like the green screen look. Sorry, Steven Zapata. Sorry. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. All right. But yeah, also it was great getting a bite on what you guys are interested in. You know, if I were to start a Patreon, what kind of things you guys would like. So it's good to know. Definitely good to know for sure. He's just a little guy. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. Can hardly stand it. Boom, bam, baby. Cool. I gotta figure out I think the bitrate settings so I can make sure I don't drop the stream like I did before. Cool. Nice. Sick. Okay. Let's wrap these guys up. Let's go. So for these drawings, they do not have to be detail heavy at all. And we're actually going to figure out what's happening kind of underneath the head a little bit. Make sure we get the other cheek in here. In our older drawing, we had it was almost more of an up angle. Oh, someone in the chat, Camomiles, says, also welcome to the chat. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. Welcome. Hi. For Patreon, I guess an option for membership with feedback sessions would be awesome. Okay, cool. That's great. Yeah, I love feedback. It's yeah, I took a student earlier in the year, a little bit last year, earlier this year as well, and he was great. He was really eager and he grew so much. So I would love to continue that practice of teaching. It's really, really fun. I learned a lot about the kind of thing I want to offer, what kind of information I want to offer as well, which is good. Okay, with this angle, if I remove the line art, let's look at this again. Okay, it's not super clear what's going on here. It's kind of like this is a cheek and this is a cheek, but then that would mean the mouth would be like way up. Like that. is fine. So this is another thing you got to be able to check your forums well. HG says Patreon and Discord server would be awesome. Ayub says great stream as always. I have to go. Take care of everyone, buddy. Take care and eat. Enjoy. We will do our best to take care. Thanks for dropping in, man. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. All right. Let's do this thing, baby. Nice. All right, so we got a little bit of an under angle going on here. I think this works. Yeah, I think it works. This is good. Boom. So we showed the underside as well. Kind of remove that line a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. And then we have this expression. Oh, he's so little. Oh my God. Look at him. Oh, that's cute. That's also cute. He's so little. Oh my goodness. Look at him. How could you? How could you say no to this little guy? You can't. You shouldn't. You should never, ever say no to him. Ever. Look at him. What does he want? Doesn't matter. He gets it. Easy. So we're being very decisive with our lines here. We're just kind of letting the forums really flow out. Making sure we're not standing in the way of the rhythm. Myth Conception says, hey, how's it going? Hey, buddy. I don't know if we've spoken to the chat before, but it's going real well, man. I hope it's going well for you too. Wow. Okay, it's going to be a sad expression, which no one wants to see. Which means we don't get the high cheeks. We get the droopy cheeks. Nice, great. Same here, just taking a break from work for a bit. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, welcome to the stream. We're designing this little dragon guy. He's part of a world we're doing. We're working off of a developed concept. We came up with some sketches, some designs. He fits together with some prop and story stuff we did. And so we're pushing it here. We're cleaning up the lines on top, making sure everything's tight. Alrighty. Alrighty. Nice. Yeah, also this is just a quick check for anyone who's still watching live or watching the playback. Feel free to subscribe and like the video, all that good stuff, baby. Let's go. Oh my gosh, wait, he's so sad. He's sad about something. Whoever did this little guy wrong. I don't know what we're gonna do, but someone has to pay for what they did to our little guy. Cool. Man, I'm doing a weekly study session with some friends on oh, Aditya says, gotta bounce. Take care, everyone. An awesome stream, Gabriel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you dropping in, truly. And we also got Arctic Void is back in the stream. Welcome, buddy. We're working on Egg, our fun character. We're just cleaning up the design. We're doing line art today, which I don't normally do on stream. So normally I like to do line art just by myself. When people watch, sometimes it adds pressure that slows me down, but we're just getting better at just doing it live, baby. Nab says, oh man, can someone give that dragon a cookie so he doesn't look that sad anymore? Literally, he needs a cookie. Really? I think he just needs a friend. And yes, I know that makes it sadder. Checkmate. Oh, my AC's popping off. It's going wah. Cool. Alrighty. So we got this going on. Sad dragon. So sad. He's a good boy. He literally is a good boy. Whoever would do this to this dragon, I swear to Gorbulon 5. Yeah, but I keep getting these texts. I do this weekly study of a religious text from the Baha'i faith called the Seven Valleys. So we've been studying it every Thursday together, me and a bunch of friends in New York, and it like references the Quran and all these different ideas and stuff. It's really cool. And so we have this group chat where like every day people are like dropping these like links from all these different like spiritual sources and like all these different places, and it's just funny getting like messages being like, oh, here's a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, and oh, this thing in here, and blah blah blah. It's like such a lit group chat. It's cool. Mythic Conception asks, why is he so sad? Well, that's a great question. Hopefully a VizDev team or a team of designers or writers or an art director would also feel that way, and that's kind of maybe why this character would be compelling to choose for a production, hopefully. I'm not quite getting these lines right in terms of the implying that like the feathers are hair and that it's like I think I have to do something like that. Like still have a couple spiking out, but that ultimately they fall down, they fall low. Speaking of low, I really want to read that comic series, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I heard it was good. I want to see what it's all about. Cool. Cool. All right, we're closing in, baby. Let's go. We're probably going to call it on the expression drawings. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the other design I did. I mean, we didn't do that at all, which it's the thumbnail of the video, so it's a little disingenuous, I think, that I didn't work on this concept. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It's pretty cute though. I like this design a lot. He's so cute. Oh, it's messed up. Whoever hurt him will perish. Alrighty. Cool. Yeah, thanks to everyone who joined the chat today and asked such great questions. Really appreciate it. I'll probably rename the stream Drawing Dragons and Q&A so people know it's like not just designing dragons. This little under bit, I feel like we have to simplify this shape for the sake of silhouette here. So what we're gonna do, literally just do that. That's all we need to do for that. Just imply a little bit of the back, scaly bit. That's all we need. Simon says, he is sad but silly. You know, when I'm sad, I'm a little bit silly too. I don't know how you guys feel. Flip our canvas, make sure we're not missing anything. Honestly, this face is a little flat. So here we have, thanks for the amazing stream, it was super inspiring. Oh, that's good, that's good. And Simon says, streaming on a tangent, yeah. So this part of the face goes forward, but the eyes are pretty flat on our drawing, and I feel like here it's all kind of a slope which, maybe we could fix it. Let's try. Let's remove the under sketch layer. Let's see what we can do about this. So something that we want to keep in mind, since a lot of people asked about jobs, about capacity, about skill, we're going to talk about drawing on model. So if I were to pass this off, this drawing isn't actually on model. So let's re-examine. And I feel like that's why the face, the head doesn't feel very correct either. So we're going to cut this actually. We're going to cut this. We're going to remember the shape of the head. So the plane of the face actually comes up and around like this. Right? The eyes are more here, more forward. It's a lot. There's a lot of things actually that are making this a little not on model. So then we still want wide eyes, but we want the crease. We're kind of figuring this out in real time, so it's a bit messy. Wow. Just going to switch our seat posture really quick. Let's check back against... Oh, he did the exact same thing. Isn't that crazy? We ended up making the exact same mistake. Or is it a mistake? He opens his eyes extra wide. They're kind of bulgy. The one thing we did there, which is good, is we fixed the bulgeness of the eyes. Which we want. We need that roundness. But I think it is the eyebrows. They need to be like up. And the other ones need to be like up here. This is the kind of thing that if you pass off to a rigging artist, they would be a little confused. F, it's out. Yeah, exactly. It is out. Let's try flipping back. Since we're on the topic of on model and so on, what are experiences with working in 3D, or rather 3D modeling artists? Do you have to do turnarounds too in a neutral pose? So for me, I haven't been on a production team like that. I primarily do freelance, like blue sky concept art. So like people will usually have some in-studio guys that'll do that kind of stuff. And for me, I have not had the pleasure of doing that kind of work yet, which is I'm kind of glad about. I like doing the stuff, man, the first idea on the page. So for me, the designs I do, everything's under NDA. I can't show you anything, unfortunately, that I do for work, but I have not had to do turnarounds yet. I just do the initial bold ideas. But I have done paintovers for people. Like I had a few friends who were 3D students and they wanted some designs to like create in 3D for practice, and I did a few designs, and like it was interesting, you know. They would do it in 3D and I could see where they missed a few cues, so I would paint over their 3D model so they could fix it, and then they would fix it, you know, do all the adjustments and stuff, and then we would kind of move forward. But bringing a 2D design into 3D is always really hard. Yeah, so this sad face, it's given us trouble. And unfortunately, what happens is when you start to kind of like, you're on the back foot on something, the momentum's out. We really gotta be careful of what we do next, because we don't want to overwork it. We don't want to set ourselves back, and we don't want to get fixated and stuck. So actually what we're going to do, to be completely honest, is I'm going to erase the eyes. And I'm just going to give it some space, because the undersketch has information that is not incorrect. I think I actually missed a few cues in my undersketch drawing. So we're going to give it a minute. And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the last expression. Last expression is really fun. So we're going to have fun with that one. Yeah, but neutral pose sheets and stuff, it's not so bad, you know? You're just kind of simply drawing the character in a way that a 3D artist can trace on top with their model. It's kind of what it's for. But it's only annoying to do that stuff if your skills of drawing are actually not like very strong. Then it's like, oh, I have to draw all these poses, all this stuff. But if you are very comfortable with drawing and forms, it's like doesn't take very long. That's why it's always good to practice your fundamentals, your figure drawing, your perspective, anatomy, everything. Everything, man, it all helps. Okay, so we've gone over time by almost an hour, which is fine. So fine. Nice. This is a good expression. I like this a lot. He's like mischievous, or he's like excited but a little mischievous. He's like not evil, but he's like having a moment of like like literally it's giving. I want to be careful not to crowd with lines here. Cool. Nab says, have you ever dealt with an art block? And if so, how do you deal with it? I have. I just switch it up, man. Switch to a different medium, new pen, different paper, and I just draw. I just draw and I don't show anyone. I just draw for hours. I mean, I usually show people after, but in the moment, I'm like, I'm not showing anybody. And I never have to. I never hold myself to it, you know? I just draw. Just draw and draw and draw, baby. But sometimes you literally need to take a break. Like I took a few months off somewhat recently to sort stuff out with my family, and like, oof, it's tough. It's tough not doing art, consistently. But coming back, I was clear about a lot of stuff that I wasn't clear on. And you'll hear a lot of artists say that about like they learned a lot of things that in the break, that when they came back, like a lot made sense. I learned that with my mentorship with Iris Muddy, actually. That was very, very important for me, that mentorship. But yeah, art block is no joke, man. You gotta do the forked tongue. A dragon without a forked tongue is no dragon at all, in my opinion. But Think Consumption says, did you go to school or are you self-taught? I'd say 50-50, man. Like, everything I know about drawing, I taught myself. But self-taught doesn't mean self-taught. Self-taught means you learned independently without an instructor literally with you, right? But I learned from YouTube. I learned from just repetition. I learned from, copying Star Wars characters from books when I was a kid. I learned from all manner of stuff. But I was primarily self-taught. And then I went to school for illustration when I was older, but I just learned theory there, like how to put together a storybook, how to like design a brief, how to follow a brief, how to think creatively, how to fix your creative process. It wasn't a traditional studio course. Same. Yeah, exactly. It's great. It's good stuff. Illustration's great. I love illustration. Weirdly enough, I've taken some illustration gigs recently. I'm doing an album cover and I'm doing a comic book pitch, which is great. I love it. It's like one of the coolest gigs I've ever had. Nice. Those would make cool videos. Yeah, actually maybe I might talk about the process of designing an album cover or the comic. The comic right now, I can't really talk about it too much. It's not under NDA, but it's like kind of a little under wraps a little bit right now. But when I finish it, 100% I'll talk about it for sure. We're developing a pitch for it, so once the pitch is done, I might talk about what it took to develop that pitch, the creative process of going about it, and that stuff. Oh. Oh my gosh. Wait, I have to let my girlfriend in. I'm gonna mute myself really quickly. I will be right back. So finishing these character guys, it's interesting how, also I'm back. It's interesting how, yeah, for sure, Vitor. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you on the next one too. It's interesting how less talkative it gets when I'm actually focused on the streamerino moment. Cool. All right, let's wrap it up. Yeah, with the sad expression, we're definitely going to have to... Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. 2 people are locked out. I have to go let them in. I'll be right back. Again. This is so funny. Gosh. So my 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 flatmate, he like forgot his key, and he did me a favor to go let in my girlfriend, and they both got locked out, so I had to go rescue them. It was just funny, and like the buzzer wasn't working, and it was this whole thing. Okay, yeah, so we're wrapping up now. Last little strokes. So for the surprise expression, I am back, baby. Let's go. For this surprise expression, or not the surprise one, the sad one, the underdrawing there's not enough. I got to figure out the forms. So I'm going to come back to that later. And it's important not to draw on top of a bad over sketch. Otherwise, to sketch over like a bad under sketch. So we'll return to that. The idea is there, but it's not on model, and we really want this page to be clean and on model, so we're going to have to go back and do that. But for everything else feels super nice to me. Especially this one we're working on right now. It feels really good. All right, guys. So we got through that much. We did the kind of under expression. We did what else did we do? We did just the main body. This was the hardest part, to be honest. So getting that down was excellent. We're just checking for mistakes here. Yeah, we'll clean all that up another time probably. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Wait, let's see if she'll join me. Do you want to join me on the outro? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Oh my gosh, Sandman, you got the statistics. I got 4 new subs. That's epic. Wait, that's organic. That's huge. 4? That's cool. 4 is great. 365. Let's go. 365. That's one for every day of the year. Wait, I'm going to screenshot that. That's actually sick. Heck yeah. I love that. What a meme. What a meme. So we honestly, I think the last drawing and like the first drawing are really strong. On a character design page, like this is really strong for an art director to see. We have to clean up the construction here and here with the other dragon. Once we do that, we'll be sitting pretty. Unfortunately, we did the thing where we didn't quite lock in our underdrawing quite clean enough. But that's fine. Oh, it looks like there's another... Hey, what's going on? Wait, let's see if Isabel will do the outro with me. Myth Conception says, when do you stream normally? So right now my schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Usually in the early-ish afternoon, like either right after midday or around 1 or 2, and then I go to the late afternoon / early evening. So today I went later than usual till 5. Usually I do like 12 to 2 or 3, but we'll see. Okay, she's gonna join me for the outro.
Hi.
Come here.
Okay.
Come here. So we've rescued Isabel. She's here. We're doing circle camera.
I feel bad that Ian and I got trapped.
Come join this circle camera. This is my girlfriend Isabel. You have
Hi.
to fit in the...
What do I do?
Look at the
Where
circle.
do I go?
You have to fit.
Okay.
This is my girlfriend Isabel. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You had to look at the camera. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream. We had a lot of fun answering questions and doing some drawing of dragons. Should they subscribe?
Yeah, subscribe.
Should they like
it?
Should they like the video?
Like it, subscribe it, follow him on Instagram at
cluelessgabriel.
Cool.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, we'll do this again on Tuesday. And Colin says she stole my man.
Sorry, Colin.
Okay. Much love, everybody, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.